2015 to 2018 Acura TLX. We're going to be doing the Auto ABC, Android, and Apple Carplay box add-on, so we can convert the top screen to a CarPlay display. So I'm going to show you what it comes with and how to install it. We've got the content of the unit out of the box. Just going to show you real quick what it all comes with. Obviously it comes with the install manual and the user manual. It's also going to come with a double-sided sticky tape, so you can stick this on wherever you desire. It also comes with an aftermarket mic that you can stick on anywhere as well. Got the Bluetooth antenna, obviously the T-harness. Now you don't have to worry about these 3 wires. This is if you want to add a front camera or a 360 camera and things like that. We're not going to do all that. We're only going to retain the factory backup camera. Now 2 options as far as the Bluetooth mic. This is the only company that I've seen that you can utilize your factory mic, which is a lot better in my opinion. So we're going to attempt and install this to that location, which is in the overhead headliner. Also got the LIN bus T-harness. Pretty awesome setup right there. And this is the main unit. As you can see, there's specific dip switches for the Acura. All of them are on the high, which is in the off position. Low is on the on position. Also states right there, there's a little word right there that says on and it's pointing down, so that's obvious that it's going to be all down. So we have everything on the dipstick. All of them are pointing up, and we're going to leave it like that. So we're going to go ahead and take everything apart and then show you how to install it. The first step we have to do is take these 2 side pieces off. The only thing you're going to need is a plastic panel remover. Do not use flatheads or anything like that. You will damage some of these. Seen it one too many times. Use a plastic panel remover. Now this one's kind of tricky, but I always start off on the very back and then kind of slowly pry my way to the front, and I'll show you why. As you can see, these 3 are even, so obviously it goes up. Now when you get to the front, it's kind of offset a little bit, so this is not the same as this one. So that's why you want to start off with these first 3 and remove that, and then work your way up, pushing it this way, and that goes for the same side as well. Now the next step is to remove these side air vent trims. As usual, start from the bottom, and then this thing pops off. Put it aside, show you what it looks like real quick. Just gotta be careful with these ones. You don't want to rush, as you will break the clips. So that's all it's held by. Now once you get those vents trim removed, there's also going to be this cover right here that's attached to the bottom. Slowly pry it from the front and it'll just pop off. There's a cover on top right here. Same exact thing, pop off and then slide it forward, as you have these locking arms right here, and it's only held by a couple of clips. I have to move the car a little bit forward, that way I can kind of see better for lighting purposes. Excuse the dirt. This vehicle is driven a lot for photo shoots, so kind of different terrains, a lot of dusty roads and things like that. But anyways, you're gonna end up taking off quite a bit of screws. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 2 hidden up top from where you took the covers off. This is probably going to be the hardest step to do. Make sure you also remove this cover right here, which is the last cover. Now you're going to need a extension, 8 mil. You're going to go through a small pocket right here. There's going to be 1 8mm bolt right here, and also on the other side. It's the security bolt that holds the radio in place, and in the event somebody tries to steal it, they're not going to be fiddling around here trying to take off that 8 mil. But I'll I can show you real quick once I get everything out. Radio should just slide out. Now the hazard button is a little short, so you have to unplug that first. And here's those 8 mils that I was talking about. They slide onto a groove. Somewhere in the back right here. And this is kind of the hardest part of the install itself, is loosening that. Now you don't have to take it off fully. You just want it to be loose enough to where it'll slide off. And then when you put it back in, it's just easy as tightening it back up. To get more access to the back of the radio, you're going to take off this right here. This is super tight. This is pretty much as far as it goes. So the radio kind of gets stuck in this area. So you only need a pick to push the locking tab above right here, and it releases. And you have more room to access the plugs in the back. The first plug that we're going to need is the one that goes to the second one right here. Unplug that. Now you'll need the T-harness label STT Honda LVDS that goes in between that wire we just unplugged. Now here's the other 3 plugs that we're going to need. The one down here, just held by a locking clip. Second one would be the one on the bottom. Same thing. Now this one's a little tricky one. You have to insert your pick tool. There's a little locking tab right here. You have to push that inward, and then this locking tab releases. See if I can do it with one hand. Here's that locking tab right there. This one in the center, you have to push it towards the wire, and then you have to lift up this arm right here. You're gonna need to push this locking tab right here, push it inward, and then you can pull this lever, and that plug releases. All the 3 plugs that we removed, they just get their designated T-harnesses. They made this thing super simple. Everything plugged in just like factory. Everything is super tight. Even the one with the locking clip locked in very well. So definitely shout out to them for making such a quality plugs. Also, they added these felt. It's kind of like a vibration noise reducer type of thing. So definitely shout out to them for doing that. They also added Tesla tape to make it look more factory. Not a lot of companies would do that from what I experienced. So far, so good. To get to the OEM mic, we're going to remove this piece right here. Now you're going to insert a small flathead to this little groove, and that will just pop off. Do the same thing for the driver's side. Once you get those covers off, you'll expose 2 8mm bolts right there. Once you get those 2 8mm bolts out, the back side of it is only held by clips right here. So again, use your plastic panel remover and slowly work your way around it. And like I said, this is only held by 2 clips. The next T-harness that you're going to use is the Acura OEM mic harness. The plug that you're going to need is down here. So I already got the T-harness installed. Make sure they do click, that way you don't end up having to take this back off. Now I'm going to zip tie that to the harness to make it look nice and neat, and then run it along the channel all the way where the box is going to be. Added 1 zip tie. I ran it to the little pocket right there, so the wire we can ran all the way behind the headliner. So now we can go ahead and put this back to where it was, same way as we removed it. I repositioned the zip tie to the top. When I tried to put it back in, it was making contact to this metal right here, so I zip tied it along the higher harness. I've tucked the wire underneath the headliner, routed it along the side right here. Now do not zip tie it to the airbag. Leave it loose. Come out right here. and that's where the wire needs to be at the moment. Now this is just a temporary situation. We're just gonna test and check the system before you even start mounting it, which in this case I'm gonna route it inside the glove box. But for right now, I have the box sitting right here just to kind of test everything first. So now that you have all the T-harness, obviously this is the stock look. Now if you press and hold the menu button for about 3 seconds, it'll switch over. And you actually use your factory mouse right here to toggle through it. So we're gonna go ahead and play with it for a little bit, connect it to Bluetooth, and then hopefully everything works. I'm gonna go ahead and make some setting changes. Since we are using the factory backup camera and the factory mic, we're gonna go ahead and go to the settings for those two. In the general settings or the car settings, make sure the backup camera is an OEM setting, along with the microphone as OEM. The issue that I ran into is the backup camera. Got it figured out. There'll be a green wire that says reverse 12 volt in. So what you're going to do is extend this, route it along the same way as the harness, and this tan plug right here, you're going to tap into the orange wire. That's the reverse trigger. So anytime you put it in reverse, it'll trigger the box and then trigger the camera to show through, just like factory. Got everything plugged in. This is just temporary for right now. We're gonna run it to the glove box once everything is known to be functioning properly, but this is just for the testing purposes. We're gonna change some settings and then see which one works the best. First startup, make sure the light are on. That's when you know everything is good and ready to go. Now you're gonna go ahead and connect this system to your Bluetooth, which is gonna say Carplay, etc., etc. Connect it just like any other Bluetooth, and then give it a couple of seconds, and then once it connects, it'll automatically switch over to Carplay. One setting that I like is the Bluetooth. So you're gonna get to this setting right here for the phone link setting, and it'll tell you to click the box or check it if you want the Bluetooth to work. Otherwise, if you want the non-Bluetooth version, you're gonna have to just switch to auxiliary, but I prefer the actual Bluetooth, so it connects just like my phone. There's also a couple of things in here that I'm going to change, especially the speech recognition. If you are using the backup camera, you will go to this setting right here and then change the backup camera to OEM. Here's the selections. And if you are using the aftermarket microphone, which is that little piece that I've showed you before, the little square microphone, which I'm not going to be using now, I'm going to be using the OEM factory mic, so you're going to have to switch over to that. Besides that, it's kind of self-explanatory as far as it. Language, adjusting the sound and things like that are pretty standard, but I'm going to play around with it and then see what we got. After you made the camera setting and the microphone setting, along with the Bluetooth disable deal, which is in the phone link setting, like I said, if you want to use the Bluetooth, you will check that. If you want to use the auxiliary feature, then you're going to go ahead and check that. But as soon as you apply it, we have to reboot the system to take effect. Here is the check. Everything works, Bluetooth works, sound comes out beautifully, everything switches over the way it should. I'm not going to activate my GPS location in this moment. There's no real need for it, but here's the YouTube music right here to the side. The factory front screen is still functional, so we're going to go ahead and, now that we know everything works, we're going to route the wire to the glove box and then finish everything up. I've tested the Bluetooth function as far as the audio goes, checked on that. I've also called a friend of mine to see if the factory mic works, also checked on that. And to switch over from factory screen, you're gonna hold the menu button for about 3 seconds. It'll revert back to the factory, but hold it again for 3 seconds and it switches over to CarPlay or Android Auto. Sadly, I didn't have a video for this one, but my phone died, so I was in the process of mounting this box in the glove box. But since you already have this piece right here out, there will be a screw right behind it. That's part of the glove box assembly. There's a couple of screws right here. There's 3 of them. On the bottom, this cover right here just pops down. Nothing held by, it's only held by a couple of clips, so kind of show you real quick. It's these type of clips, so just pull them down and they'll come off. And then there will be, if I recall, 8 or 9 millimeter bolt, one down here and then one down here. And then you're gonna pull the glove box towards you. And like I said, I put a double-sided Velcro tape, and in the back I retained the cabin filter cover. I did do a little notch on the corner right here, that way all the wires have somewhere to kind of go to. As you can see, it's not going anywhere, and I can see all the confirmation lights, the Wi-Fi antenna. I just sticked on there and then routed it to the back. So here's the wires right there. The tray is still in place, so that's also good. So there's not really a lot of places to mount it, so this is the only place that I can think of that works best. So we're gonna go ahead and test it, drive it around, and in a couple of days, if everything is all good, I'm gonna go ahead and post a video. But I wanted to make sure that it works properly, no issues or any bugs. So other than that, we're gonna go ahead and test the unit now that everything is put back together. I just got back from the test drive just to make sure that the system is working properly and the GPS is moving and changing directions accordingly. The CarPlay music actually works perfect. I'm running on the Bluetooth mode. I'm also using the factory mic, so that's definitely a perfect add-on to that. But you're more than welcome to install and run the other mic if you don't want to do the factory mic. But here is the system. Definitely highly recommend this system. I'm going to attach the link to the bottom of the description. If you guys want to order it, that'd be awesome. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment. Please subscribe. And if you run into any problems or setting that needs to be changed, leave a comment below and I'll try to answer as much as I can. Other than that, that's all we got. Peace.